Hello everybody, I am Conquering History Games, and welcome back to the channel. Because even if you're a regular subscriber, it has been a little while since I've uploaded, and I do want to apologize for that. There's a lot of reasons for it, which I'm not going to get into right now, but what's basically going to be happening moving forward is I'm going to almost reset the channel in a way that I'm just going to be starting some brand new series. Sorry if you were following some old stuff, but I'm going to have to find that footage and upload it, maybe if I can find it. If not, I'm very sorry, but it's okay because we've got some cool and exciting new things planned ahead, including my long-awaited Crusader Kings 2 Empire of Valyria Survivor Achievement Campaign, which I'm going to be doing relatively soon. But before I do that, because obviously that's a campaign that's going to be complex and well, long, because I'm doing the Survivor achievement. It's going to go for about 400 years. I thought I should shake a little bit of the rust off with a couple of shorter Crusader Kings 2 campaigns. So I'm going to be doing this one in the Game of Thrones mod, version 2.1. And I'll also be doing another relatively short campaign in regular Crusader Kings 2. It's probably going to be the latest Monarch's Journey, so that we can get some points for the Crusader Kings 3 stuff. But in any case, let's just jump into it. So this series, this particular Game of Thrones one, is going to be a bit different from my normal Crusader Kings 2 stuff, because, well, as many of you know, I tend to take a little bit of time in the first episode to explain who I'm playing, what my goals are, and things like that, and so it's pretty rare that I actually unpause in episode 1. But I just wanted to let you all know that as part of me shaking off the rust, as well as I think this is going to be a series that some of my in real life friends are going to watch, even though they don't play Crusader Kings 2. They're thinking about it. But they're big Song of Ice and Fire fans, so they might find it interesting. I'm actually going to be going into more detail than usual, explaining what it is, what I'm doing. Meaning, when I'm appointing people to my council, for example, I'm going to be explaining what that council member does, just to kind of give some context to that sort of thing. So this will be a bit of a slower campaign than usual, and yet, if things go right, I think it'll be a relatively short one if I play things out. So I should probably explain what it is I'm going to do. Well, we've got all these various bookmark dates here. By the way, spoilers for all these Song of Ice and Fire books, extended stuff, Fire and Blood. Anybody who's watched me play this mod before knows that I just talk about everything. So anyway, one of the available bookmarks that you can play, of course, a pretty popular one, is the War of Conquest, which starts on the first day of the first moon in 7998, and what would become the year of Aegon's conquest. Aegon Targaryen and his sisters have landed at the mouth of the Black Water, armed with 3 mighty dragons, that being Aegon Targaryen, of course. Argilac the Arrogant has spurned Aegon's offer of a marriage between his friend Orys and Argilac's daughter, sending back the hands of Aegon's envoy. As a consequence, Aegon has vowed to conquer the 7 kingdoms, proclaiming there will be only one king. So that's usually how things would go. But we're going to do a small but significant twist in this one. If we could just go ahead and start the game. So I am going to be playing as Aegon Targaryen of Dragonstone. Oh, I guess I'll call this... Hold on a second. Aegon goes east. All right. Okay. All right, so, as many of you already know, if you're watching this, the Targaryens are a member of the ancient Valyrian families, but they were... Jeez, I am stuttering so much. Sorry, guys, I'm getting back into this recording funk. So, there used to be, long story short, there used to be the Empire of Valyria out here in the east, and the Targaryens, one of Aegon's ancestors, realized that he was going to have to flee. I think it was this one, Ares of Dragonstone, because he knew that the destruction of Valyria, because of the explosion of the volcanoes or the dragons or whatever the hell it was going to happen. So they fled to Dragonstone, and they've been sitting here ever since. So what we're going to do, and it's really cool that the modders actually have an option for this, is the goal of this campaign is going to be from starting here in Dragonstone, and technically Driftmark as well, and I think we also have Claw Isle up here, but we're going to take Aegon II here, still a follower of the Valyrian gods, because remember when he started his conquest, he still did follow them, and we are going to go east and reform New Valyria, which you can see here, and we'll probably include Braavos in that as well, because Braavos is not considered part of New Valyria in terms of de jure, but everything here that is red, the idea is going to be that we are going to fill this. I want to keep this campaign relatively short, so you know, it's like, oh, we didn't take Vias Kadoka or something. I'm not gonna fight a whole war over that or something. But the idea is going to be to take all of this for the most part. Most of this, I should say. Anyway, so let's read this event here. War of Conquest. It has been a century since the doom of Valyria, which left House Targaryen as the last bastion of the blood of the dragon. We have strived to expand our holdings ever since, and now we are poised to conquer using the dragons as the ultimate weapon, rather than relying on our meager manpower. The free cities call upon me to unite them into a new freehold. Westeros and its 7 kingdoms, however, seems a greater prize. So we've got 3 options here. We can go attack Westeros, we can say that we're going to establish a new Valyrian empire, or we can actually accept an offer of an alliance with Storm King Argilac, which I don't know if that's then proposed to him, but you basically can have an alliance for 20 years. And then you get like a bunch of claims on these Riverland areas. Okay, yeah, so this is what it actually looks like. I just always say, wait a minute, the rivers? Oh yeah, because this is with the de jure. So this is potential kingdoms and empires that you can create, but what we're trying to create, or not trying to create, this is the reality. This is what it looks like right now. Anyway, we're going to establish the new Valyrian Empire in Essos. The effects are that right now I am considered to be the High Lord, Lord Aegon II of Dragonstone, but as soon as I say I'm going to establish a new empire, we are going to begin stylizing ourselves as the Empire of New Valyria, and we're going to also get Aegon's crown entered into our treasury. Okay, and then I think this is just the one more thing I've got to do, and then we'll start setting up. Ever since the Doom of Valyria, the remnants of the Freehold, the so-called Free Cities, have fought for supremacy. So the Free Cities, as a reminder, that's like Volantis, Myr, Tyrosh, Pentos, etc. It's just all this stuff out here. It's a free-for-all. You can think of them like the successor states after Alexander's kingdom fell apart. Okay, Volantis, one such leftover, offered an alliance to reunite these cities, but I joined her enemies and cast them down lest they grow too powerful. I will not be equal to those mongrel Volantins. I will forge Valyria anew and under my own banner. So, we basically have an option of who we can declare war on first. Our options are going after the Pentoshi, aka Pentos. We can go after Myr. We can go after Tyrosh, or we can go after Braavos. So the coastal cities, effectively. That's what this is all about. So what I think I'm going to do is we're going to go for Tyrosh first. Tyrosh, of course, has the 7 holdings down here, although they're not all filled. And they tend to be difficult in my experience to deal with because, of course, their capital is based on an island, and naval invasions are difficult to pull off, even if you have a dragon. So I figure if we could just get Tyrosh taken care of, the hardest obstacle will be dealt with, because Braavos is not as strong now as it would be later. And I think the key is to get that first of the free cities under me, because then once I have a free city, that means I actually can have some sort of an army underneath me once they swear allegiance. So, for example, if we look at Tyrosh, Tyrosh has almost 10,000 men available to them, whereas I've got 3,000 a little bit of change. That's a little bit more than I actually thought I was going to have. So, of course, the dragons will be very good to have, and I've got 3 of them, but just the faster that I could get actual manpower, some army levies under me, the better, so that I can start getting some quick momentum. So we're going after the island of Tyrosh. Okay, so Emperor Aegon of New Valyria, as you see, that is now our new name. We are the Empire of New Valyria, so we are considering ourselves Emperor Aegon, has declared Emperor Aegon's conquest of Tyrosh on Archon Mirmillo of Tyrosh. Oh, they have links to the wiki of Ice and Fire. Isn't that cool? Does it work? Oh, well, isn't that cool? So for those of you who don't know, when you click on this, it'll pop it up. So like in my other monitor, this just popped up. Oh, Jesus. This just popped up. Anyway, whoops. I don't need to see what all that was. Okay. New Valyria is in a state of war. We should send ravens to the great lords, rallying them to the crown's defense. So I'm only going to talk about this once because it's going to pop up every time that there's a war. And it'll say here, tell me how do civil wars work. It's not a civil war, but if you want, if you're not familiar with it, you can pause and read this right now. I know how it works. The point is that whenever you start a war, all of your underlings will look like they become independent, but they're basically deciding if they're going to support one side, the other side, or remain neutral, or number 4, they could become independent. And then it cascades down. Hold on a second, my freaking cat is meowing. Just one moment. I think he just wanted to come in here and play and watch me play. Give me good luck. Okay, so that's all that is. All right, so we're 11 minutes in, and I still haven't unpaused, and really, we still haven't even gone over what our political situation is. Military situation, personal situation, all that sort of stuff. Okay, so you guys know I always like to start with the characters. So we have here Aegon II of Dragonstone, of course, historically. So I'm going to be using the term historically, but of course we're talking about a fictional fantasy world. I'm just talking about like the established canon of that world. Whenever I say historically, I don't actually think these things happened. So historically, Aegon went west and took over Westeros and became known as Aegon the First Targaryen, aka Aegon the Conqueror, aka Aegon the Dragon. And he united most of the continent with the exception of Dorne. Incidentally, I don't think it's going to be too much of an issue as we go east, except for in some specific areas. But unless there's been a patch I don't know about, there are certain areas where dragons are not able to fight, so we need to remember that. And I think it's mountains and deserts. You cannot deploy your dragons, and so that's why Dorne in the game is going to be able to maybe resist us if they want to. But we're not even going that way, so don't worry about it. Anyway, so Aegon here. He starts with this bloodline, his own, giving him some bonuses. House Targaryen is a noble family of Valyrian descent. They were the only family of dragon lords who survived the Doom of Valyria. So this bloodline is only transferred via patrilineal inheritance, so only male characters can pass it on. Matrilineal transfer, it means that if there's a matrilineal marriage, it could work. Bastards cannot inherit this bloodline. That's going to be relevant later. And the bloodline is, of course, currently active. So the bonuses we're getting from this bloodline is we're getting additional monthly prestige from it, which is always good for opinion bonuses. Andal opinion is +2. That's not really relevant because we're going east. Our dragon hatching chances is increased by 350%. Our dragon taming chances is increased by 250%. Very nice. We will have a traditional claim on New Valyria, and our bloodline has fairly strong seeds, so we should be able to kind of keep things pure. Having said that, we're definitely going to be marrying our sisters, and I'll talk about them in a moment. Okay, let's look at our traits here. First off, we've got excellent traits here. Everything's in the double digits, and anytime you're in the double digits, you're good, except for learning. But learning, I think, is not going to really be coming up because we're going to be at war basically all the time. So having a martial of 30, that's incredible. Very nice. Now, specifically, it says here that we are a brilliant commander, one of the best commanders in the known world. We're an aggressive leader, so that's going to increase my pursuit by 25%, increases my damage by 10%, defense is going to be lowered. That's fine. We're going to be going on the offense a lot. And hopefully with that pursuit, we're going to be able to wipe out entire armies so that they can't retreat. That would be wonderful. We are an inspiring leader. It's one of the best traits. It increases my morale, defense, and damage. We are a flat terrain expert, so we'll get bonuses in plains, farmlands, and steppes. I'll try to remember that. We are a dragon rider. This person controls it. Now, this is the key feature, of course, to how we're going to win this campaign. This person controls a dragon. Dragons were discovered some 5,000 years ago by the Valyrians in the 14 Fires, a ring of volcanoes on the Valyrian Peninsula. It's over here. The Valyrians mastered the art of raising dragons and used them as weapons of war to carve out their massive empire. So, a dragon rider's dragon is denoted as their friend. So if we go to relations... Wait, why does it say we don't have a dragon? You know, it might be because we haven't paused and then it'll pop in. I think that's how it works. We do have a dragon. Don't worry about it. Okay, dragons can be used in battle and sieges using character decisions. I'll go into detail about that later, but that's of course how we are going to win, because we definitely are outnumbered. Upon a rider's death, their dragon may be inherited by their heir if they are a capable adult, else the dragon will establish a lair. If their location doesn't have a dragon pit, they may also fly to the dragon mount on Dragonstone. Enemy dragon riders can be met in duels. Generally, the side with greatest combined dragon strength, in essence martial score, will win. So martial score it's kind of almost the way that they track the size of the dragon, because there's martial score and prestige for the dragons, but the prestige is different. I don't think prestige actually helps them fight. Anyway, also because I'm a dragon rider, plus 40% moral damage, plus 40% moral defense, which is incredible. It's almost 3 times as strong as Inspiring Leader, which is one of the best traits ever. Monthly prestige plus 1, martial plus 4, vassal opinion plus 10, opposite trait opinion minus 25. I'm not entirely sure what that means. I think that means if they used to have a dragon and it died, they hate me now. People who are ambitious hate me even more as well. Okay, more traits to go over. So we are strong. That's good. That gives me a fertility boost, which is nice because I currently don't have an heir. Well, I technically have an heir. It's my sister, but I need to have children. We're going to get the fertility boost, combat boost, better health, a lot of good stuff. It's very good to be strong. Formidable fighter, plus 80 on the personal combat skill. I don't think we're going to be dueling anybody because we have our dragon, but that's also great. This guy is just basically the best. He's set up to be a conqueror, because he was. Ambitious is always nice. He's diligent, just, proud, cynical, brave, and authoritative for his personality traits. Gosh, his combined dragon taming chance is through the roof, I think. We also have some combat modifiers. Oh yeah, this is just listing it all. Very, very good. Okay, let's check out what artifacts we have. So we own Blackfire. Blackfire was one of the 2 Valyrian steel swords the Targaryens brought from Dragonstone after the Doom, making it one of the most prized possessions of the Targaryen family. It's a quality level 4, so second best quality. More prestige, more martial, more vassal opinion. I'm really liking a lot of these vassal opinion bonuses because that means we're not going to have to worry about people underneath us bitching and moaning and revolting and things like that. Very good. And we have Aegon's crown, a circle crown of Valyrian steel set with square cut rubies, which increases vassal opinion and prestige. So it's not amazing, but it's very good. And we've got so much other good stuff. But you know, because he is such a great character, of course we could try to have our kid be this good, but I doubt it'll happen. We've got to try to form this new Valyria in Aegon's lifetime. Not that I'm saying it's going to be impossible or anything for his heir, but the easiest way to get it done is with this character. Okay, so okay, I'm already married actually to Visenya. Let's take a look at her. So Visenya is the one I prefer, incidentally, between his sisters, and she's actually older than him, interestingly enough. So you see here, he's 24, she's 27. And so this is kind of just going to get to the lore, but one of the reasons that I think it became this huge big deal about that men had to inherit the title, obviously it's a feudal society. This is getting into later Targaryen kings, but I think if Visenya had kind of asserted herself as the first among the Targaryen siblings, it wouldn't have been like made herself the first queen, or you know what I'm saying? Could have avoided some problems later, or maybe created new ones. Who knows? So she was the older one, was said to be classically beautiful. She just kind of tended to braid her hair. There's this terrific quote for Visenya, because I've never heard her described as ugly or anything, but that she has a harsher, more austere beauty than her sister Rhaenys. But I do like here that she is considered the primary wife, and then Rhaenys is the secondary wife. Very, very cool. So they got married because it's Valyrian custom, keep the blood pure and whatnot. So anyway, what kind of stats do we have for her here? Okay, so she's got pretty good martial too. She's at 19. Good intrigue, that's nice. The rest, not so much. The state diplomacy is okay. She's the one who actually wields Dark Sister. Dark Sister was one of 2 Valyrian steel swords the Targaryens brought from Dragonstone after the Doom, making it one of the most prized possessions of the Targaryen family. Bloodraven was the last known wielder of the blade. If the owner of Dark Sister is a Targaryen, then the head of House Targaryen will usually inherit this sword on the owner's death, which creates whole other problems. It looks like it's just, yeah, in terms of its effects, it's identical to Blackfire, so that's good. Okay, so she's a dutiful commander, flat terrain expert, dragon rider, formidable fighter, temperate, diligent, brave, proud, and ruthless. Yep, I think I would agree with all of that. And finally, actually not quite finally, we have Empress Rhaenys here, who is the youngest sister, supposed to be the one that Aegon married out of desire rather than duty. So she has got terrific diplomacy, 17 diplomacy, 12 state marshal, very good stuff, decent intrigue, not so good on the stewardship, so we won't have her be the accountant or anything like that. So she is a gruff diplomat who is attractive, a skilled fighter, she's a poet. I think she did like entertain poets and things like that. Dragon Rider Gregarious, just lustful, charitable, and diligent. Okay. So, I think, oh yeah, I forgot to also say, yeah, the relations, yeah, where are these freaking dragons? Let me just, maybe have it just go forward one day. There it is. The Valyrian freeholds politics was dominated by 40 families of great wealth, high birth, and strong sorceress ability known as Dragon Lords. They spoke the High Valyrian language and had great skill in shaping stone. Incest and polygamy was a common practice among the blood of Old Valyria. I am the blood of Old Valyria. Okay, so do we have the dragons now? Okay, yeah, there we go. So clearly there was just some sort of thing in the mod. You just had to wait a day. So we've got Balerion the Black Dread. He's got 107 martial. He's the biggest one. And then Rhaenys has Meraxes, who is 81. And then Visenya should have Vagar, which is 4-3. This is ages up here, by the way. So she has the smallest dragon. Although that dragon would live long enough to fight in the Civil War later. Okay. Finally, we have Orys Baratheon here, who is a Westerosi Valyrian. And he is a skilled commander, a holy warrior, so that's good damage against religious enemies. I don't think that's gonna come up though. Oh no, there's some people who don't believe in R'hllor, that's right. So we have like the Weeping Lady down here, the Moonsingers, the Gods of Lorath, Bearded Priests. Okay, so as a holy warrior, he'll get bonus damage against those people. That's great. He's a direct leader. Alright, so I have to remember to put him in the center, have him be center commander. Because he's got 30 martial. I don't think there's going to be anybody who's that high except for Aegon himself. He's a bastard, he's strong, formidable fighter, a duelist, honorable, gregarious, authoritative, brave, and diligent. Excellent things. And I actually think if I wanted to, I could legitimize him. So he won't be considered a bastard anymore. However, that's going to piss off my wives. And, wow, Visenya actually only has a 64 opinion of me because she's a title claimant and we're both ambitious. And how does Rhaenys feel about me? Yeah, she's also a title claimant. So they both have positive opinions of me. Anytime you're in the green is good, of course. But it's not at 100 because of the mechanic where they could also claim Dragonstone. So that's fine though. It's fine though. It's not like they're going to betray me over that or anything. Okay, so let's start going through all these alerts. So we have some important decisions to be made here. First off, we need to recruit a court physician. That's always good. I don't want anybody to be getting sick. You have sent messengers and scouts out in all directions to scour the realm for skilled physicians that would be willing to take up residence in your court. Word should reach you shortly if they manage to find a suitable candidate. Hopefully they will not bring back a quacksalver. Alright, and then secondly, we could ask for a maester from the Citadel, so that's going to cost me 20 gold, which is fine. I have 212 gold, and I don't anticipate using very much of it. Yeah, I could use the money to hire mercenaries to increase the size of my army, but we're kind of going all in on the dragons to help us here. So we'll ask the Citadel to send us a maester. The maesters tend to be really good stat characters, so that'll help us fill up our council. Speaking of which, we have some open council positions here. So Orys Baratheon is my Archon, who's my chief advisor in charge of both the defense of your possessions and the day-to-day administration. He will rule in your stead when you're away. So the Archon is actually, I think that's a religious term. in our world, but anyway, he's effectively the hand of the king, you might say. So it's Orys Baratheon, our half brother. I can think of nobody better. There probably is somebody better. No, not really. Yeah. Okay. So the stewardship trait here is what's going to be best here. So he's got an 11. There is somebody here who's a 12, but I just like the idea of Orys being in charge. So things are a little bit different in the mod here than in vanilla Crusader Kings 2 in terms of what this person does. So we could oversee the realm, which will just maybe help us get a little bit more money, put down revolts, things like that. We could improve our defenses, which will increase fort level and garrison size. I'm going to be going on the offense, so I don't think we need to do that. We could pacify the province, reduce local revolt risk, or improve the holding. I don't think I need to do any of that. I don't see any reason why there'd be a revolt here. Yeah, the religion here is Valyrian. Oh yeah, I need to explain what I could do here with this religion for those of you who don't know. So we're not doing the faith of the Seven, which is just basically Catholicism. We're doing the Valyrians. The Valyrian gods have some really specific traits. I just looked at the clock. Yeah, so we're definitely not unpausing in this episode. There's just so much to go over, and a lot of it is that I kind of need to review. But it's interesting. Okay, so when you worship the Valyrian gods as a leader, there's a lower national revolt risk, dragon hatching and taming chance is way up, and opinions +5. What? I don't understand. Okay, our moral authority is only 12.5. I suppose that makes sense. If it's only 12.5 out of 100, that the ancient empire has been destroyed, and everybody's just squabbling over its remnants. So yeah, I suppose that not many, the Valyrians wouldn't be taken too seriously. Let's compare that to the Faith of the Seven. It's the Faith of the Seven has a moral authority of 55.4. But that's okay. I'm pretty sure that our own moral authority is going to start to spike once I retake everything. So, the ancient religion of Old Valyria, capital of the greatest empire the world has ever known. When the doom came to that city, the faith died with it, but it was preserved beyond the narrow sea by House Targaryen. So our gods' names are the ones that our dragons are named after. So there's things like Balerion, Meraxes, Vagar, Urax, and Syrax. The evil god names are the others, the demons, the dark spirits. In terms of effects in the game, priests can inherit titles. Our religion allows women to own temple holdings. Rulers can marry close kin to improve vassal opinions. So my vassals, if they also are Valyrian, are happy that I am marrying incestuously. Valyrian men can have up to 3 wives. The religion can be reformed. Can you do that in this mod now? Or I don't think there's any Valyrian holy sites. Is that a thing? Oh, well, hell's bells. Yes, it is. There's Mantares, Old Volantis, Velos, Old Geese. That is interesting. I need to do that later. So this is what our religion believes in now, but I could change that. Very interesting. I probably won't, but it's something to think about. I want this to be a relatively short campaign. He said as he has not unpaused except to move forward one day. Okay, what else is going on with the Valyrians? So it can be reformed. There is and can exist no religious head. You can arrange marriages between close family members. You have a +5 opinion boost with all the religions due to their religious tolerance. Okay. Can choose another religion group to be their syncretic faith and receive a +10% opinion boost with its members. So I think that's like with Muslims and Jews, that kind of sort of thing. Anyway, should we go ahead and get started then? Or I guess we will in the next episode. So, here's the plan for the next episode. I swear that things are going to start moving quickly. Actually, wait. Let's fill up our council positions. Okay, so we need an Imperial Justicar, somebody who has high diplomacy. The person with the best diplomacy is my sister wife, Rhaenys. We can have her perform some statecraft, just so everybody likes each other more. But what we're going to have her do is we're going to have her sow dissent between the local nobles and their lieges. Up in... What is the strongest of these free cities? Okay, Bravos has got about 13,000 men. Pentos has a little bit more than that. Okay, so Pentos, Myr... Okay, these are the big three, it looks like. Like, how's Volantis? Oh no, Volantis is the strongest one. We're going to probably save Volantis for last. So, how about for right now? We're going to tell Rhaenys, because I don't think she's not as good as a commander as some of my other people. We're going to tell her, hey, I want you to go to Pentos here, and I want you to start sowing dissent with the nobles so that they're too busy squabbling with each other to deal with me when I come in later. Okay, next up, our Chief General is Quentin Coharis. I do not remember this character. Okay, using the wiki link. Sir Quentin was the Master of Arms at Dragonstone. He was later named Lord of Harrenhal. Okay, Master of Arms is my Chief General. That makes sense. Okay, so we'll leave him there. We could have him organize the army to improve our levy size, suppress revolts. Again, I don't think that's an issue. Could train some troops so that we have more of a stronger, or more of a levy, a bigger army. Or we could train children, send your Master at Arms to train your children in the art of swordsmanship. Well, that's not really a thing because I don't have any kids yet. Although I'm only 24, so I've got a lot of time to do it. I guess we'll have him train some troops. Every little bit counts, I suppose. Alright, our Lord Treasurer is Lord Crispian of Claw Isle. Head of House Celtigar. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. So this was the first Master of Coin, which makes sense because he's got pretty high stewardship. So yeah, of course he should be treasurer. We'll have him collect taxes because cold hard cash is always nice. And finally we have our Master of Whispers here, who only has an intrigue level of 4. That's terrible. Okay, so we want... Should I have it be Visenya? No, because I want Visenya on the battlefield. Okay, so who is this Josua? No wiki link. Well, whoever he is, he's got 12 stewardship, which is good. Or, excuse me, 11 intrigue, that's what we're looking at. And we will have him sabotage a province. So let's have him go up here to Bravos and try to, just sabotage something up there in the marshes. Is that not considered the capital? Oh, shoot, I didn't actually... This is Bravos. It's this little area here. So I screwed up and sent him to the wrong place. And I can't assign him anywhere new for 4 months. It's fine. It's not a big deal. I'm not going to be going to war with Bravos for a little bit. Okay. Advisor, that doesn't matter, really. Okay, couple more things, because I want to, as soon as the next episode starts, I want us to be able to jump into it. So, we need to pick an ambition. I want to win the war, because then it'll give me a little bit extra martial and prestige. So we'll get the bonus if we win. After that, I'll probably pick the ambition to have him become exalted among men. I think that's a good long-term goal. And we need a character focus. Our character focus will, of course, be war. This focus unlocks dual actions versus rivals and foes, as well as increasing our martial skill. So, we're going to be at war constantly. It's going to be a heavy, heavy conquest thing. We're going to set our crown focus in Dragonstone because it is our capital. I don't know if I'd change it later. I might make it Old Volantis or something down the line, or just regular Volantis. I don't know. Or we could just rule from our little island. Actually, no, Dragonstone's not that great. It only has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 holdings. So we'll probably long-term make Volantis our capital when we once we get moving. Okay. I think that's everything that's really relevant right now. We need to do things like get bodyguards, but that doesn't really matter. Actually, there's one thing I want to do. I want to make my wife, Visenya, one of my bodyguards. Alright, so thank you very much for joining me. I'm glad to be back uploading content, and I warned you all at the start, like that's how Crusader Kings 2 is. I usually don't even unpause in the first episode, but I promise you, in the next episode, we are going to immediately go to war with Tyrosh, raise our army. It's going to be really fun. In fact, you know what? I'm going to try to set it up so that episode 2 goes up If not at the same time as this episode, later today. That way you guys can immediately get to some action and you don't have to wait a whole day for me to put something else up. Okay, so thanks for joining me. I'm Conquering History Games. Please be sure to subscribe if you have not already, and it's good to be back.